show! From Michael Bay to Marvel, UK, everyone on in between. Breaking news and toy reviews, every robot fans wet dream. Grab a brew and join the crew, become part of our scene. Bring your mom, let's drink her own, make sure you're at least 18. Welcome to the show, the party and let's blow. Friday nights, let's go, Transformers the show.
Hello, welcome to Transformers the Show. Tonight we've got loads coming up. We've got a discussion which is going to be the cost of collecting. Were you prepared to sacrifice for Transformers? We'll also do our top 1987 characters, Headmaster characters. There's loads of news, but more important than all that, Steve is here. So hello, Steve. Hi.
Evening.
Seamless.
Don't get that on other shows. Yeah, all that.
SKywarpSCS. It's not just Steve on YouTube.
Is that not your handle?
I am Steve.
Steve, the man from YouTube.
Steve the show.
The only man from YouTube. That's it. I am YouTube.
You're the bloody best man. I'll tell you that. And the link is in the description. And I've done that yesterday. That's how organised I am. Captain Rex asked, how many starships do I have? I have every release of the smaller size models, which I don't know how many there was, of the Federation ships. None of those alien Xenos, just Federation ships for me. And actually, if you want me to derail the show, ask me about starships or Star Trek. Quite happy to stop the show and dive into that. Right, as always, we're going to start off with the good old news, of which I believe it wasn't a heavy news week, but we'll find out.
I talk some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
Right.
It's never a heavy news week unless you're the person gathering all the news, and then it's actually that quiet. But we'll get on and we'll do some stuff. So we'll just go through it chronologically as we do. So YOLO Park showed off their official Transformers AMK Mini Wave 2 via Notrub, who actually just took some photos of it. So if you're getting the YOLO Park figures, you may already have these. You may be getting these. They may be in the post, winging their way to you as we speak. They may not, because you may not have bought them. But you can now look at these pictures and decide if you would like to buy them.
What's wrong with Prowl?
Where do we start, eh? Actually, you've got to be careful who you say that to. The Jazz looks quite nice. I'm not a big fan of their open hand pose. Don't know why. It just looks a bit weird, like they're stretching the fingers. Cliff Jumper looks pretty cool.
Very cool. Yeah. Hound looks solid. You've just drawn that on with a pen, haven't they? He's going.
It's gonna sharpen.
Now you're evil.
Beards are evil, apparently. And then here's how they can look if you have them in some kind of clamp for display. The clamp.
Clamps never look great. I don't know why people think that. Because it's like a giant arms holding them up. They're not flying. You're not kidding anyone.
Just reminds me of cartoons when there'd be a machine. It doesn't matter. Anyway, there's Cliff Jumper. Too toe old and too tired for this. There's Hound again. Hound again.
I think it's the best one of the bunch. I think.
Yeah.
Well, Hound.
Yeah.
You not find his facial expression a bit flat, like a bit dull? I mean, none of them are particularly expressive, to be honest.
Being grabbed by a massive claw.
I mean, they all look decent, I think. That one's very shiny in the face. Anyway, so they are out. These are out and about, and people have these largely, but it was quite a nice photo of the G2 Dinobots together that have been released so far. Should you wish to pick up the Snarl and Slag/Slug 2-pack, so a bit of G2 action.
Yeah, don't mind picking up a bit of a Snarler. Picked up a few Snarlers in my time. Hello, Gav. It's just dropped in to say hello. Hello, Sunstreaker.
Picked up a few. It doesn't matter. Anyway, and there they are with the Armada Nemesis Prime, because everybody's getting them now. Well, not everybody, but some people are. let's keep going. Anyway, then that takes us on to this. This was via Blocky's Instagram. The first images of their new products from the China Toy Expo. So these are the Blocky's wheels, is what we're starting off with. To begin, and I think the difference here is we didn't see the trailer last time. So Prime, who isn't, it's an IDW Prime. It's not just a straight up 1984 G1 Prime. Comes with a trailer that we didn't see previously, and we see the prototypes. The grey prototypes. Yeah, it looks decent.
Have we got any idea how big these are yet?
That is a tremendous question, and the answer.
I just wondered, have we seen any pictures of them sort of juxtaposed against anything else for scale?
No.
Lovely use of the word juxtaposed there, but no, I don't think we have as yet. But I'm sure some point we will.
I mean, they're going to be massive, are they?
No, and I think when you get if they're as big as Legend scale transformed, then I'm like, why don't you just buy? You can buy really nice Optimus Primes in Legend scale, which will do that a lot better. Maybe not the IDW one, but
well, we do know we've got Scamper, Dragstrip. I think that was on the previous picture, wasn't it? Scamper, obviously. Why am I pointing at it with my finger? Scamper is there. We've got Dragstrip, not Mirage, as some people had thought. Apparently, it's Dragstrip, although it probably will be Mirage as well. Let's be honest. A Hound / Swindle down at the bottom right. And what has been thought of as being either Iron Fist or Swerve. Now, I don't know if that's confirmed, but that's what the information that was shared said. And obviously Roller, but that comes with the trailer. There we go.
That's what we're doing. I can't just do. I've got a choice of beer to go for, so I'll let the chat decide. I've got Punk IPA Brewdog, 5%. So if you want me to drink that, give it a shout out. Or the one which I kind of accidentally bought, which was the President, Mr. President. It's one I always forget. I always think, it's a tough one, isn't it? 6%. 9.2%.
Oof.
That is. So if you want me to get the show off to a good start, I'll go
or for a third option, if you want him to drink his own urine, then vote urine. And
I'll do the 9% first. I'll pretty much do anything after that. Mick saying President, Steve,
we know.
Fired, chat. We've been there.
Anyway, shall we talk about Bruticus? Because lots of people were very excited about this. So this is the Blocky's Bruticus. Defender version Bruticus, it must be said. This is the first look at the grey prototype, and as with the Defender version Devastator, it's formed by the combination of the alt mode Combaticons. So we're expecting that, like with Devastator, there will be an easy-to-pick-up kit that you have to buy to form the rest of it.
So I was thinking about this. They must have now sorted out, now that you can get the Devastator one reasonably easy, Bruticus won't be hard, I don't think. It won't be gold
Hopefully
dust.
not. Hopefully not. I mean, that looks quite cool. There's a little setup there when you see them all spread out.
There's a few decent repaint options for Bruticus as well, isn't it? You could get a Ruination out of that. You could do the
G2 colours.
The G2 colours, and you had those other desert. No, it wasn't desert camo. It was desert camo and an urban camo one they did a while back on the G1 mold for part of RID. It's a few to come.
Yeah, it looks good though. I think it looks good. Didn't pick up the Devastator. Might try to get hold of this, maybe if it's not too much for pay. And then they also showed off their Action Edition Tarn, Optimus Prime, and Energy Burst Megatron. So you got the grey prototype. So it's Transformers Prime, Optimus Prime, in the background there. And the Megatron is, well, it's a special version of Action Edition G1 Megatron in translucent purple.
No.
Some Juice
yes.
Forsyth.
Juice
that gap. You had me.
Good game, sir. Good game.
Jake is saying, should he give a chance to Blockies? Sorry, Andy. Would you?
Who?
Jacob.
Jacob? Yeah, Jacob, definitely.
I think
definitely.
you dip your toe in. They're so easy. They're very dippable, aren't they? You can dip your toe right in there.
Love that.
Like
all these pictures have had pending licensor.
Yeah,
approval.
I noticed that. Yeah.
I've got
We
some
don't need to
here.
talk about that.
I think it's gone beyond that.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's some more photos of Bruticus, just so you can see some of the detail on him. And that is Galaxy version Bombshell, a color sample. And the Shattered Glass Starscream. G1 Megatron. Again, but like, different. Don't ask me how.
Are these the shine? Sorry, Andy. Are these the shining ones?
I think so. Yeah.
The shining versions. The Shattered Glass Starscream is shining version.
Right.
This is just the Galaxy version.
Gotcha. Sorry,
there is also a shining version Shockwave, which is there. Like I planned it, which I did not.
Carrying a little mini Shockwave.
Yes, carrying himself. Anyway, that takes us on to a bit of... I love this, because it's oldie, isn't it? Just a bit of crotch thrust going on there. Have a bit of that scene. But
that is the crotch thrust to end all crotch thrusts.
Yeah, and my mum's eye out.
I got this bit of news from TM Reviews, and I've just noticed that in his description of it, he called it Audrey, which I think is a better name. From now on, I should call it Audrey Transformers. Again, from the China Toy Expo, Mangangwan is another great name. On Weibo had shared these photos. So there we have crotch thrust Optimus Prime.
Is it 40 foot? It looks really big.
It looks massive, doesn't
Insanely big.
Life size.
Where you see his head.
Have you seen my abs? They're just above my penis.
On the show.
Anyway, toy colours or comic colours, depending which way you want to look at it. Galvatron is also coming from them. There's their Rodimus. He looks like he's trying to do minimal crotch thrust and a slight dance move.
Yeah.
And of course,
that's cool.
You've got to have one of those Megatrons that's mid-transformation to Galvatron.
Very cool. Ed, hope you feel better soon. He's on antibiotics.
Yeah, feel better, mate.
Oh, mate.
YOLO Park Transformers AMK Minis. They showed these off. They're great prototypes of Shockwave, Wheeljack, Grimlock, Sidestripe, Optimus Primal, and concept art Megatron. Again, at the China Toy Expo. Good, I can tell we're all excited for this.
Yeah.
Right.
SGZill as well. Hope you get better soon, Lord Mirage.
Yes, he's had to have surgery. As Lord Mirage. Yeah, so get well soon, mate.
Oh, all the best.
Yeah, he's back home, but I think are you having to use a frame, SGM Lord Mirage? Is that right? A frame? I think so. Some jokes about you being in a wheelchair, but anyway, get better soon, mate. Marcelo Materi, who's obviously a fan favorite Transformers artist, he was at TFN this year, shared his original art that's been used for the box art for the Armada Nemesis Prime.
Oh, wow.
It's very nice, and the Minicon team. This is why we need this kind of box art on the Transformers, because this is just like G1 stuff that made you this is how you see the toys in your imagination, and then you get them out and they're not that, but still imagination and very nice artwork.
Fool me once, Hasbro.
I think you'll find they fooled us many times.
Multiple times.
And then we also had the artist Eddie Del Rio revealed via his Instagram account early concept art for Transformers Rise of the Beast, Scourge, and the Predacons. So lots of different kind of iterations of what Scourge could have looked like with the wings. Very demonic. Getting closer to what we actually got. Very close to what we actually got. And then the different head sculpts. It must be great to be able to create art like this. I'd love to be able to do it, but alas, it is not my talent. I don't know what it is, to be honest. But anyway, it's not this. Looking very nice.
Proper nice.
And then there was these two, which was Retrax, I think I'm saying that right, and Tarantulas. So these were possible Predacons that could have featured in the film, but didn't. So there's Retrax, and there's Tarantulas. which is spelt T-U-R.
To wrench.
So there you go. And then let's get back to some toys and some very nice looking toys. So Takara at the Japan Hobby Model Show this week showed off their new series Overgear. If you remember a week or two ago, we mentioned that they'd said there's going to be this Overgear, and I think they showed a couple of silhouettes, but nobody really knew what we were getting other than it's something new. And this is OG01 Ironhide, which is on the left, and OG02 Blackout, which is the helicopter bot on the right. And the credit for these photos is Miami Hobby News.
They both look nice, actually. Both of them.
They do, and they're new. Like I know it's still Ironhide and it's still Blackout, who's a movie character, I suppose, more now. But goddamn, they look nice, and at least they're new. That Blackout, if it's not going to cost an arm and a leg, that one's definitely going to be on the list.
Also, if it costs an arm and a leg, we'll still get anyway. We'll talk about that later. It costs.
We'll get into that discussion.
Rubbing my thighs on these look good.
Spending too much money. Ironhide seems to be tooled up, so it's obviously inspired by the movie Ironhide, but with a bit more of a G1 aesthetic, I suppose. Oh, it looks cool.
They're very, very anime mecha leaning, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bet you'll be able to get some right crotch thrust out of these bad boys. And there's Blackout. I mean, the bot mode looks interesting. And then... not a bad attacker helicopter mode. Like those Russian ones you used to see in Rambo. Anyway. And there he is in robot mode again from a slightly different angle. And then... what else did we have? Oh, yeah, they were showing off their... Takara showing off their MPG stuff. So MPG-17 Optimus Prime, which is the Generations 1, MPG-18 Hauler, and MPG-19 Soundwave were on display. Oh, it's going to do this. I don't know why some of the photos just end up being smaller, but there they are. So if you're excited for your masterpiece bits and bats, I'm sure you'll be picking these up.
Yeah, don't like silver legs on my Prime. Nikki's got broken. So everyone's injured today. So Nikki's broken her foot at the gym. So Nikki, hope you feel better soon.
They might need to work on the paint for Old Masterpiece Soundwave here. But I'm pretty sure it's not the finished one, hopefully. We'll find out. You'll find out when you buy it. Yeah. Yeah. There's one bit of the news later on which just makes me think of that. I think, Steve, it was you that noticed it in the photo where we've got these photos to show off, and there's specifically a little piece of card or whatever in front that's with a symbol saying no photos. Whoops. Anyway, there's Hauler. Hauler a bit closer up. Look at that head sculpt. And some of the bits that comes with him.
How much they were asking for Hauler.
It's a crime, full stop. And then there was this. This is the missing link. C11 Shattered Glass / Diaclone Ultra Magnus. Again, on display at Japan Hobby Model Show. Denkakai Hobby shared these photos. And yeah, Borders Dude literally exploded with excitement at the sight of this.
To be fair, that is an Insta buy from me as well. I'll be getting one of those without a shadow of a doubt.
Lucas just rolled into the chat. You can smell it.
He's our very own Joe Hendry. It's Magnus on the air tonight. Anyway, right. I can't remember what that little bot that comes with him that's hollow as hell is called. But there it is. And small Diaclone woman that totally hasn't been stuck to stand up straight on a couple of tiny bits of white tack. Definitely not. The secrets of the toy photographers. Then they showed off some more. So this is the Masterpiece Sideswipe Masterpiece movie Next. So the Next in the background is not the clothing company. It's part of the name. Next Masterpiece movie Next 01 Sideswipe. Ooh. One for the Sideswipe fans who like the Sideswipe from the movies.
They're not convinced because it's got blue tack on the feet.
Peeking behind the photographer's curtain. There's the face sculpt. Just a great prototype at this point. So maybe it'll get changed. Maybe there'll be some changes, like removing the blue tack, white tack, whatever it is. Yeah, that looks a bit kibbly on the back to me. From my expert opinion as a toy designer. Anyway, moving on. Here is Neon Genesis Evangelion. I almost said Evangelion again, didn't I? Evangelion Optimus Prime. And I read somewhere that apparently the name for this may be changed. I don't know what to. Again, Denkakai Hobby provided these photos. It is based off... now let me get this right. This is based off the Takara Tomy exclusive Legendary Optimus Prime mold from 2018. So just to be clear, even Takara are just digging out the old molds and giving them a tweak and then selling them. There we are. It now features elements, weapons, and references of the EVA-01 unit from the classic Evangelion anime, including an alternate Eva Berserk mode face.
So you'll get it. You'll get it if you're a fan of the crossover. Then, by the sounds of it,
I would have thought so. Or if you just somebody collects every Optimus Prime that ever comes out.
I mean, to be fair, the masterpiece one they did that does shift for a pretty penny on the secondary market. That's quite sought after. So there's definitely a market for this stuff. I'm just not sure it's any of us.
So what you're saying is that we should definitely scalp this and then sell
Scalp
it on the
it,
aftermarket.
hoard it, and it'll be
Love
worth a fortune.
Love
Totally.
it. Full steam ahead, Rohan. Right, moving on. I'm joking, Rohan. I'm joking. But you will. Transformers 1. This is 3-0. Transformers MDLX, Optimus Prime, Megatron, Bumblebee, and Elita 1. Photos from Weibo user Mangang1, who's definitely got one of my favourite names ever. And this is wonderful, if only about 2 years too late. But, you know, it looks nice. It tells a visual story if you look at the photos carefully. There's the gang all together. But then Megatron walks away.
the MDLX stuff is fantastic quality, isn't it?
Correct.
But is it, like you said, 2 years too late?
And spoilers. I mean, come on.
You don't know what's happening here. He might be popping out for snacks. Ryan Pax is just staying at home. You don't know. You might be going for some pickled onion monster munch.
Girl.
I don't think it needed a song. Anyway, that was all the mainline news. And we'll do a bit of third-party news shortly. Does anybody have any questions about the mainline news before we do?
Battle this.
It's heavy metal crunchy time as Optimus Prime goes toe-to-toe with combat Megatron. Prime is one tough dude underneath his hood. He's a transformer missile fun phenomenon. Combat Megatron is combat armed. His mighty mega missiles are slamming. He can metamorph and use mega force, but combat Optimus is still standing.
Excellent. We will carry on.
Seamless.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't caught on the hop. I hadn't got to the stuff I needed. Now I have. So we'll start off with this, which is from TM Reviews again, and this is a fantastic model / fans toys FM03 Warhorse with box art apparently from Low Lab Studio, and it's comparison photos that we're going to see now. Prepare yourselves. Compared to the Takara Tomy MP27 Ironhide. You'll even get a little sneaky peek at the bio. And I think TM Reviews will, if it hasn't already, we'll be doing a video review. The one on the left, to me, looks miles better than the one on the right. But then again, is that the masterpiece on the right, I assume, because it's got the actual badge on. So how old is that?
Oh, I don't know. A few years now.
Very old.
Yeah.
Yeah, very old.
It looks it.
Very old. But it's falling victim of the masterpiece carbot syndrome, isn't it? It's just they're just better going forward. The masterpieces are just better now.
I've no idea if the prices are fairly similar for these, but if somebody said to me, you have to buy one of them, it ain't going to be the masterpiece one. It's going to be the fantastic model / fans toys one. Yeah. And here's the back of them, because we all pose our bots facing in the wrong direction.
Andy, Masterpiece
good, isn't it?
Ironhide was MP27 2016, according to the wonderful people
2016.
at TF Wiki.
Well, there you go. And a big thank you and a shout out to the wonderful people at TF Wiki.
I mean, you'd
Thank
hope
you.
it'd moved on in 9 years, wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course. Unless, of course, you're Hasbro or Takara, who are re-releasing the same toys, but just tweaked. Anyway, let's crack on. There is the, what do you call it?
Hey, lively.
Bio. Character bio. So if you want to read that, you can come back to the show again, rewatch the whole thing. When you get to this part, pause it, but don't do it now because you'll fall behind. Iron Factory, IFEX77, Ghost Armor, Fierce, Gokugao? I think it's Gokugao. I don't know. But that's what I'm going to call it. And this is a Legend Scale Samurai Beast Wars Megatron. Because if you can make something a samurai, why wouldn't you? And there you go. I have to say, I prefer it to the original one. It just looks more interesting to me. I mean, it looks a bit daft, but it still looks more interesting. It's a T-Rex with a hat, for example.
Yeah.
But that beast robot mode looks pretty damn fierce. I know you're a big Beast Wars exponent, Pete.
Yeah. I mean, the purple's nice.
I like the colour, yeah. Purple with the gold and the kind of, is it teal?
It does look quite cool, and it's a different take. And they've done some excellent characters so far, haven't they? And as much as I think,
I mean, look,
we try and ostracize Beast Wars as much as we can from. Don't start going. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna do it.
I shall have you know, I am currently watching Beast Wars
Give over.
on the lovely TFN's Patreon. If anybody wants to come and watch it with us every Saturday morning, I can't remember what time, but every Saturday morning on TFN's Patreon, come and watch a little Beast Wars and see my reaction to watching it for the first time.
Does look very cool.
You know what? I like this. Controversially or not, I actually like the look of it. Would I buy it? I don't know. But I like the look of it.
I think for me, I like the look of it. I'm not the biggest fan of Legend Scale stuff. If you were to tell me this was a Voyager, then I'd probably pick it up and grab it. But the Legend Scale stuff, I do find a little too fiddly. But the imagination and what the character creation, I appreciate it's not their character, the IP, but the character creation that has gone into do you know what we'll do? We'll turn Beast Wars Megatron into a samurai. That's you can't fault that. You can't fault that at all.
Correct. And now, pray silence for one of the greatest things I've seen this week. Yes, oh yes. It is the Fans Hobby TFCon Chicago 2025 exclusive MB-08B Helmsman, which is their version of G1 Skyquake. Oh, I like this. I will probably never own this, but I goddamn like this. $280 it will cost you, limited to 600 pieces worldwide, available from the Chosen Primes booth at TFCon. And also eventually it'll be sold through, wherever else you can buy it online, because they always make it on there for a while until they sell out. This is amazing. And I know it's Overlord. I get that it's just the Overlord mold, but still.
But if you don't own the Overlord mold and you get an opportunity to get this, Fans Hobby is this year's been the first year I've really experienced it, and the quality and the transformations, they're just such a good brand, and they do some great bots. And the colours on this look amazing, don't they? Literally, it almost makes you believe that G2's a thing.
There's the gang all together in robot mode that has been released so far. So there's only one left to do to have all of the Predators. The boy snare bottom right there. And we also got some photos from Chosen Prime of the alt modes. I really like the jet mode. I think the use of double dealers missile is quite, I don't know if I call it clever, but sensible. Well thought out. And yeah, I'd buy this for $1. Unfortunately, it's $280, but can't have everything, can you? Can't have everything.
They
unless you buy everything.
Fantastic brand.
And there's the Skyquake didn't come with Power Masters or Godmasters, whatever you want to call them, but it's based on the Overlord mold, so you get a couple of nice looking ones. I haven't seen anything that explains if there's a backstory to their colours and like they've come up with some story for who they are. So if anybody in the chat has seen something, feel free to let us know. Otherwise, you just get 2 new Power Masters. And then that takes us on to Magnificent Mecha. This is their MM01G limited edition. This came from Weibo user Mang Motion. So it's just like a... Is there a reason why he's green? And different types of green? I don't know. I haven't got that information. But it looks pretty...
There was a green high and back. There's a green Bape Prime, wasn't there? They released in Japan. I don't know if it's a copy of that. He was green.
Something to do with it, yeah.
MP10 retool.
I mean, it certainly looks distinctive. You can't fault the detail on it. Would you buy something like this, Steve, or is this not really in your wheelhouse? I think you're muted, Steve, because your mouth's moving.
I am. Yeah, sorry, my bad. I'd nudged the mouse. The movieverse stuff's just never appealed. It's more of an aesthetic thing for me. I don't like the sort of the overly greebly alien look. I understand why it looks like that. I understand what they were going for. It's just not my bag. I will crumble when they start chucking Transformers Prime stuff out. But this isn't for me.
Obviously, who wouldn't? This looks, if this is your aesthetic and everything, this looks pretty cool. And if you want to see what it looks like alongside the other ones that I'm assuming they've released so far, you can have your own little club. Slightly scary looking primes staring at you from your shelf.
And the white one looks all right, but
that's the best. The white one looks all right. The rest is shit. I still think the Nemesis colors work the best. I don't know.
I don't want these.
No, I don't want these either. But somebody will, and that's fine. They're allowed to want things that we think aren't very good. Shall we move on? Oh yes. So, Craftsman Toys, the absolute swines that they are, having done the Technobots, are they doing the Terracons straight away? Apparently not. Because apparently what we're getting is the Seacons. So supposedly this is their masterpiece scale overbite. They haven't given the Craftsman Toys name for it in the information that we got. This came via WeChat and Dame Choc updates. So, I mean, that can't be the alt mode, because that's literally just putting the shark head on it. But there you go. It is apparently overbite in a masterpiece scale. So we're getting some more Seacons.
Oh, I see what it's like when it's coloured.
Yeah. Do you know what? I love the Seacons. Adore them. They're my favourite team. I'm not sure this is my preferred aesthetic for them.
I can tell it's Pete's though. You know when that scene from Star Wars where the Millennium Falcon gets to the Death Star and then the tractor beam locks on and they have no choice and they're getting pulled in. That's like he goes, Pete's getting pulled in.
Well, maybe, but I will say this, like that. It's just the artwork at the moment. God knows. Is he naked? Why have they pixelated his crotch? Is that?
How rude!
Wait, what's going on?
I thought you'd done that because we'd had so much crotch thrust in the previous news clips. You thought we can't take anymore. I'm going to pixel.
I haven't got time for that kind of work. Anyway,
different type of toy.
Here's what I'll say: is like the head sculpt to me, it just isn't. The head sculpt isn't Piranacon. I know it's a stylized version of the Seacons, but it just doesn't look like Piranacon. It could be any.
If you see what they've done, they've used the same. They've used Overbite for like all of the limbs. It's not a real.
It doesn't have to reveal anything. No, but the head. You see, the head might be. Although it looks like Volcanicus to me. Anyway. So that's coming, and Pete will be spending lots of money on it, and then I will to find out what it's like from him. Magic Square Toys.
This looks brilliant. This looks brilliant.
Masterpiece scale. Brilliant. Anyway, it's not Halloween yet. Stop that. Or Christmas. There's the shuttle mode.
I reckon this combiner is going to be like 60 inches tall. It's ridiculous.
Oh,
That's a joke.
And for
Don't
some
really
reason,
exaggerate.
these pictures have lost their resolution. But here they are. We've got the gang all hanging together, just chilling like bros do. The group shot at the start of the night.
So they move really fast, Magic Square. So the fact we're getting pictures, I'd expect it to be up for pre-order like within a couple of days, and they'll probably be shipping it. It will definitely ship before Christmas.
You heard it here first, people. If it doesn't ship before Christmas, please direct all complaints to Pete at Transformers the Show.
I just think it's not that. The only thing I don't like about it is the colours. I think it's a bit too pink.
I was trying to look out. Have I missed something? Why is he 4 different colours?
Yeah.
I assumed from the look of all of them, they're supposed to be animation colours. Is that animation colours?
I'd
Is it?
have to go back and look. Unless it's ACOM animation colours.
The others,
Akon the singer.
I was going to make the same joke. Not sure what Akon's got to do.
I wish I knew one of his
Get him on,
raps.
quick, get him on the show. Akon, what's going on here, son? Anyway, Masterpiece Scale Bruticus. This is Lord of War, is what they thoroughly call him. And there he is. Obviously, I know which version of Prime that is. I'm going to say it's the Magic Square one. Yeah, well, these pictures are annoying because like they lose resolution on here for some reason. So goddamn the Magic Square sorted out.
you'll have the box set coming for the kind of the combiner pieces. It'll come after this. This is obviously their first real foray into masterpiece scale, and they've just done such a good job.
They've done Prime, didn't they? Prime was really good.
Yeah.
Must be something. Everyone was absolutely. They must have sold quite a lot, but I know they did. And to see them get into this is good. But yeah, it'd be great to see a box set. I reckon the box set will be toy colours, and everyone will go crazy for that. I'll accidentally order the cartoon colours, sell them for way below the price, get half my money back, and then order the correct ones. It's giving me the exact product number I need to order.
Someone will get a bargain.
Once bitten,
Keep an eye on the
twice
socials,
bitten.
people. Keep an eye
I'm
on the
going to start telling Paul the wrong versions that I want. And then he just sells them.
Shattered glass.
Oh no, I did it again. I'm so sorry. Right, Kang Toys, all through their Weibo thing. They've shared images of the color prototype of their new TA Hilo. Now it says Tehowl. It should surely be Terrahowl or something, because Terrahowl just sounds stupid. Anyway, it's a generation scale swoop. So this is generations scale, chug scale if you prefer, and it's a version of their masterpiece scale Dinobots. 180 millimeters.
Need to pick
Come
up
on.
very carefully.
Yeah.
However, I feel like something this size and that sharpness could be in a kitchen and not a display cabinet.
Careful now when we start talking about the sharpness of
Yes,
these, 'cause
agreed. I'm watching my
You're not
words.
allowed to discuss anything that might be construed as violent, otherwise YouTube shut us down.
I don't think it's
Lockdown.
violence. It's a health and safety issue. I think you need protective eyewear in case one of those wings flips out on a spring or something.
Look at the state of that, though. I mean, that is a pretty impressive wingspan. Anyway,
It's nasty, isn't it? Let's be honest.
you can do that with the head. It's a big, sharp, stylized version of Swoop. If that's your bag, then this is for you. There he is, screaming because he's just cut himself on himself.
It's like fame.
I want to. Anyway, and there he is as an arm. And my personal photo of the group. There's the hand, like a robotic thing. And I assume these are the ones that have been revealed so far.
I'm just trying to work the practicality out of displaying that on a Detolf or something, because the wingspan's ridiculous.
It really is.
You
But if
can't
you've
take
got the
that
masterpiece versions, you must have
Yeah.
so much room in your house if you're displaying these things. Unless they're all you've got. Sell everything else. Just these, and I never touch them.
A
Because
man
I
after my
want
own
to
heart.
live.
The
Choose
page
life.
Transformers.
Anyway. That was the news.
Brilliant news. Absolutely brilliant news. Should we do some pickups? See what we got this week in the world of Transformers.
We now return to the Transformers.
I don't mind going first. I feel the most genuinely. So, yeah, the new
Oh,
age.
you
one.
started
fast.
talking too quickly. You sound
Damn
like me
it.
again.
I had a bit of an emotional journey with these. So I started wanting to collect the new age Dinobots because they looked amazing, and I ordered the wrong ones. I got the stupid cartoon ones, and they just did not look good. So I got really frustrated. Then someone sent me a link to a whole set of the toy version ones, and I went into a bit of a flurry and a panic. I checked with Pete about 9 times. Are these definitely the toy ones? Are these definitely the toy ones? And they turned up on Wednesday, and they are the toy ones. What I can say is I'll show you a couple of them. Let me make myself big. I was a bit worried, like when they were turning up, like, are they going to be what I want? Are they going to be the pictures the guy took weren't stock pictures? They were pictures of his actual Transformers, and they didn't come out very well. So I was a bit like, oh god, I'm not sure if these are going to be as amazing as I think they are. They are better than what I could ever think they could be. And the 2 boxes they ticked was, I bought some of the G1 knockoffs, the Chaos or the original, to tick that nostalgia box. But these give you both. They're the absolute nostalgia hit from the G1, but with the amazing articulation and paint jobs. None of these are stickers. These are all printed on of New Age. And yeah, they are just stunning. And every single one of them just harks back, hits my heart when I used to look at the catalogue and think the only one I had was Sludge. And I used to look at all the other ones like Snarl and Grimlock and just want them so much. And they just look so cool.
Amazing.
Come on, focus in, sir. It's not going to focus in, but yeah,
Bistow's called dibs, by the way, just in case you've missed that.
What's that?
Bistow's called dibs for when you sell them.
Yeah, sure, they'll be cheap as well.
Good on you, Bistow.
They are incredible, and actually, they're probably. I tried to find my Sludge, but I think I've put them in the attic. My G1 Sludge. They can't be far off. Pete, have you compared any of yours to the original G1 ones? Because in terms of size,
apart from Grimlock,
yeah,
They don't look a
very
million miles
similar.
off.
They are very similar in size.
and they're kind of like Missing Link, but just absolutely posable. And the transformation. Have you transformed any of yours, Pete?
So they're all in Dino mode.
They're sweet. Don't care about him. But the other 4 are excellent. Never came
But
out. So
They are almost, well, not almost. They are like the fans' toys of Legends, aren't they?
yeah, but the transformations are so much fun. That was the bit which really sort of blew me away, because they can be a bit fiddly New Age with some of their transformations. These ones weren't. And when you look at the kibble on the legs, it looked a bit daunting, but actually the Grimlock comes with things that you can put over the kibble to hide it, which I thought was cool. Well, the Sludge came with it, and you put it onto Grimlock. Every single one's like a little bit different and a little bit the same. So once you've done one, you can work out. And yeah, he's probably, I would say he is the most beautiful one of
Yes,
all 5 of
he
them.
is.
Even though I love Sludge. But yeah. It's been a while since I got Transformers where I've just gone, they're brilliant, and I want to transform them, and I want to transform them back, and now I want to transform them again. I want to keep going back and forwards, and when you get that feeling, it's amore. It's Transformers amore. Right, that was it. So 5 awesome Transformers. They're Transformore. Oh, there's a segment coming next week, and it won't be about Transformers.
Copyright that. We'll have that one.
Robot set. Pete, what did you get this week?
So I got Magneto, the RNG version from X-Men 97. So nearly finished all of Wave 1. Ironically, I've finished the later waves, but I didn't finish Wave 1. And then I got a pre-order delivery from In Demand. So all my pre-orders turned up. So Alphatron turned up. My Cronus, everyone's favourite unicycle. We've got the 2 remaining Aerobots. Venin, obviously they couldn't use Venom, but so they used Venin instead. And Onyx. So they literally turned up late this afternoon. So that's why they're still in the box. I haven't opened them. Really looking forward to opening them. Can't wait to have a mess of that with Onyx. You kind of know what you're going to get with the Aerobot. So I'm in no rush, but that'll be Superior finished. And also from my friends at AliExpress, where packing safety costs extra. We got the latest Defender blockies that I shall build over the weekend. But whilst I was taking the mickey, they did come in bubble wrap this time, which was surprising. So it's in pristine condition, which is unlike AliExpress massively. And that was it for this week.
Awesome. Guzzy said last week he couldn't attend. That's fine, Guzzy. You can have a week off because he was at Arcade Club. That sounds like the best thing ever. So can you let us know what that was?
First rule of Arcade Club.
Yeah, he might not be able to tell us.
Yeah.
Although you think he wouldn't mention it on a live stream.
Yeah, that'd be rude. Steve, did you get any Transformers over the last couple of weeks? So
I'm just checking to make sure my wife's not in the chat, because if she is, I didn't spend any money this week at all. Honestly, no, I got a couple of little bits. I got this little G1 Ruckus.
Nice.
He was my little bargain find of the week. He was on eBay and the photo was really poor. The figure, it was thick with dust, and literally the description was like one line of Transformers G1 Ruckus, and I thought I'd take a bit of a gamble on it, and it cost me the princely sum of £8 delivered, and got him back and cleaned him up. You'll notice he's not got any stickers. I've cleaned him all up. He's just waiting on a new sticker sheet, but all the paint and everything is all intact. The mechanism all still works. So for £8, I was absolutely thrilled to bits for that. Other little one, I've been picking some of this range up quite sporadically. He's tiny, but he's a little Transformers RID 2015 Legends class Groundbuster. So he turns into this kind of robotic gorilla, sort of a bit like Beast Box kind of thing, into an excavator. Absolute bags of character. Cost me a £5 off Vinted. And some of this Robots in Disguise 2015 stuff, I don't know if you, either any of you guys or anybody in the chat has been looking at it. It's because the line was so skewed marketing wise towards the younger audience and was incredibly successful with the younger audience. Some of it's actually really tough now to find in good nick and with all the accessories. That's actually quite a challenge. Not because it's uber expensive. It's just been, played with and loved, which is more as the pity for us adult collectors that parents giving toys to children. It's outrageous.
Scandalous.
Scandalous, shouldn't be allowed. These little things, little story behind these. Just a pair of missiles for the. I'm going to hear Pete groaning already. The Beast Wars 2nd Galvatron. I picked that Beast Wars 2nd Galvatron up at, believe it or not, the Reading Minicon last year, and it was dirt cheap. And it was dirt cheap because it didn't have any missiles. And I've kind of been on and off looking for them for ages. I literally came to the conclusion a few weeks back. It was like, you're trying to find vintage missiles for a Japanese exclusive toy, Steve. What are you doing? Just sell the loose one on and buy yourself a complete one. And as I was looking on eBay to try and see how much I'd get for my loose one, there was literally a pair of the missiles sat there, 10 quid delivered. I was like, yeah, thanks very much, they'll do. So they came. And last but not least, it's not quite Transformers, but it's Transformers adjacent. For anybody that is reading comic books at the moment, I'm a big comic book guy, as a few of you know. Astrobots from none other than Simon Furman, the first issue of his new independent book. I haven't had a chance to read it yet. It only turned up in the post this morning, and I've spent most of my day working, sadly. But yeah, a bit of a mishmash, a little bit of a story to some of them, but just a few modest pickups from me.
Very nice. The RID stuff is RID 2015 stuff. It was fun. I think it's
Yeah.
it's quite underrated. Maybe that's a discussion we should have sometime. What's the most underrated Transformers toy lines?
Yeah, and the Warrior class from 2015. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
je ne sais
Definitely.
quoi. So good. Some of
And
these
some of
Transformers.
it was sort of the last big line where Takara and Hasbro really kind of did their own thing in terms of the paint jobs and the decos and things. So there's actually some really, really good Takara only decos that Hasbro didn't touch as well for that line. Some real hidden gems, you could say. Hidden gems.
Some might say that. Yes.
Right, Andy. The week of Transformers. What did you get to say?
I got. I'll start with this. So I did a bit of a write-up on our Facebook group, but I got Flatline last weekend, and he is lovely. I did a bit of a pictorial review because I couldn't be bothered to do a video. But anyway, it was suggested that maybe we should mention it on the show tonight, so that's what I'm doing. If you haven't got your Flatline yet, or you're wondering, should I get Flatline? The answer is yes, because he's great. It is, I don't know, it's weird that a paint scheme can just not transform your enjoyment of a figure, because Red Alert's fine. There's nothing wrong with Red Alert. He's good. But this is just better. It's black and red with silver and a different head sculpt. That somebody said it looks generic, but I don't disagree. I think he looks quite badass. And he comes with a fist. So Red Alert didn't come with a left hand, because Red Alert doesn't have a left hand. So there'd be no reason to have a hand in the box. But this comes with a hand that you can take out, should you wish to, and you can then you've got options, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. So there's the left hand. This is how he's, according to the instructions, how he should be. If you've got the Red Alert mold, because that's not new, you'll know basically what you're getting. Like good joints, simple but fun transformation. You can, as you can see there, swap out the left hand for any of the 3 tools that come with him that also came with Red Alert. I mean, just, you've got options with how you want to display him. And the other thing I'd say as well is, this is a character that I don't think we've ever had a toy of before. I think I'm correct in saying that. Who featured, I mean, there's a movie version from the kind of Bayverse movies. There's the IDW version, which I believe is what this is more based off. He's a Decepticon medic. He's called Flatline. He treats Autobots and Decepticons, because it doesn't matter who it is who's injured, he will treat them. I mean, it's just like, how many times do you get to get essentially a brand new toy, a brand new character that you've not had before? And he's good. It's really, really good. That's a really crap review, really, because basically all I'm saying is it's good, you should buy it. But that's because, I can't stress this enough, it's good, and you should buy it. Yes. Even if you have to get it like on sale or whatever. Because he might not be a big seller, because he's not a well-known name. But he's cool. I put him next to Lockdown just because, you know, kind of a medic for the Decepticons, and next to a medic from the Decepticons.
They look good together. Yeah.
There's the Red Alert, which again is still a very good toy, but something about this being in black and red just makes it look better. Yeah, just really good to mess around with. He's gone not everywhere with me, because that would be weird, but he does go a lot of places in the house if I'm doing some kind of work and I know I'm going to be sat for a while, and just have it there as a deskbot or fiddlebot, whatever you want to call it. He's just great. And that's it, really. I don't really want to harp on about it too much, but I would recommend this. Now, you may not feel the same way. If you get it, if you're not a fan of the Red Alert mold, you might not be a fan of this, because it is the same mold. If you're not a fan of black and red Transformers, you won't be a fan of this, I guess. But if you've got any taste or any sense, yeah, it's a really niche group that I'm referring to right now.
It's black and red.
Yeah. Careful now. But it's just good. It's just a really good, fun, posable figure with good joints. I can't think of anything really that I would complain. The only thing about him I'd say was, if anything, his joints were a bit too stiff when I first got it out of the box, so you've got to, you know, transform it a few times. But if you're going to complain about the joints being too stiff, then why are you even in this? Anyway, so I would highly recommend Flatline, in case you hadn't picked up on that. because he's great. And then the other thing I picked up, which I haven't had time really to take photos of. So my other half is unfortunately quite unwell with a COVID type bug. Could you just make me big, Pete, Paul, rather? If you could just, just tickle the underside, that should do it. There you go. Yeah, so she's not very well. So I did receive this a couple of days ago, but I've not been able to really do anything with it. So it's still within its box, and it is Armada Nemesis Prime. And I have to give massive props and thanks out to Robert Kopp, friend of the show, and in the chat, I believe, at the moment, or he was earlier on. So obviously I harped on and went on a lot about the fact I wanted this and how annoyed I was that Hasbro Pulse had made it so if you weren't a premium member, you couldn't order it for a month, which is, I still think is a bloody disgrace. And Robert Kopp messaged me and said, I'll order you one through my premium if you want. And he did. And we thought it wasn't going to turn up for a month, and he got 2 dispatch notices, one for his and one for mine, that they were on the way. But mine took a bit longer to get going for some reason. And arrived in the middle of this week. Either way, I'm very, very happy. So I have him. He's great. I mean, I haven't got it out of the box. It might be trash, but it won't be. It will be great. And that's it, really. It's nice when you really, really want something and friends help you and you get it in the end. So thank you very much, Robert Kopp. Your help was much appreciated. And I also want to give a quick shout out to Moff, because Moff actually contacted me as well. And he said he had ordered 2 and he might be able to help me out with getting one, which was very kind of him to offer. But in the end, Robert Kopp came through. So thank you very much, mate. Much, much appreciated.
What a legend. I think we're into the quiz now, aren't we? Is that right? I believe we are.
Yeah, just because my wife's unwell,
Yeah, no,
I am not going to be able to stay on all night for the whole show. So I'm going to have to get off relatively soon. So we thought we'd do the quiz a bit earlier so that, people don't miss out. Are they missing out?
Me
I
and
don't
Pete
know.
fucking love the quiz. It's the only reason I
bloody
still
love
do the
it.
show. One of the things, though,
Anyway.
it's like one of those adventures. We need to choose my next beer. So once again, we have. I've smashed out that President's. Feel a bit floopy. We've got Punk IPA. That's the normal 5%. So this is a fairly hearty beer. So we can choose that one, or we can go for King Crush 8.4%.
Oh, King Crush.
King Crush.
King
Leave us
Crush.
in the chat which one you go for, and we'll smash one of those out. Pete, so ATTV7116 asked, where did you get your t-shirt from?
I think I got this from Redbubble a couple of years ago, 2 years ago. Yeah, I think it was from Redbubble.
All right, cool. We're going for King's Crush. That's the majority in the chat. Guzzy says, fuck Brewdog. I think Gav said that earlier as well. They are an awful company. Let's do the quiz.
Now let's drink their beer.
Good evening, Bruno.
Right. All right. You know the rules, lads. Make sure that the TF Wiki is shut, Steve. I'm looking at you. Make sure you've got no access to the live chat, because it's not 30 seconds like we thought. It's actually only 5 seconds or something like that. And remember, it's just a bit of fun. It's just a bit of fun. Don't take it too seriously. Don't worry if you win. Don't worry if you lose. Obviously, you wouldn't worry if you won, would you? But the point is, don't worry about it. It's all just a bit of fun. All questions and answers were sourced from the TF Wiki. All hail to the Wiki. If you have any issues with any of the questions or the answers, please direct your complaints to the TF Wiki, because I don't care. Right. There's actually 7 questions today, because I lost count as I was doing it because I was distracted, and I did an extra question. So
Is that 7 questions including the tiebreaker, or 7 questions?
it's 5 questions and 2 tiebreakers.
2 controversial, sir. Controversial.
Screw it, let's go. So that I can guarantee that if somebody I like that isn't winning, they still get. No, I'm joking. That's not why I do it. Go on, Steve. Anyway, right. Let's crack on. Pop your answers into our private chat when you're ready, and try to avoid the nonsense. I'm looking at you, Farrelly. Here we go. Question number 1. At home you can play along as well, obviously. I mean, you don't really need to ask permission, do you? We're not coming and checking unless we send Pete round, which you might do. Right, question number 1. The G1 Micromaster Rescue Patrol was made up of 4 members. Fix-It, Sea-Watch, Stakeout, and one other. Was it A, Red Heat, B, Red Engine, or C, Red Flame? The G1 Micromaster Rescue Patrol was made up of 4 members. Fix-It, Sea-Watch, Stakeout, and A, Red Heat, B, Red Engine, or C, Red Flame. Oh, and we have our answers in. Da-da-da-dum. There we go. Right, okay, so Paul, you have gone for C, which was Red Flame. The other two, Steve and Pete, that's their names, they both went for A, which is Red Heat. Why did you go for Red Heat, Steve, instead of another answer?
Because it's a really great movie.
I mean, it is. It's also the correct answer. Hooray! It is Red Heat, who is the other member of the team.
Why did you think it was called Red Flame?
It's not ridiculous. I mean, it could be in any of them. Although probably not Red Engine, because that sounds like it's from Thomas the Tank Engine. Oh, Red Engine. Right, question number two. So it's 1 point for Pete, 1 point for Steve, 1 point for Paul. No points for Paul, sorry. Number 2, what is the name of Armada Hotshot's minicon? So our Transformers Armada Hotshot has a minicon. What is its name? Is it A, Flash, B, Sparkplug, or C, Jolt? What is the name of Armada Hotshot's minicon? Is it A, Flash, B, Sparkplug, or C, Jolt? Just waiting on an answer from Paul. Why is the chat on the screen? The chat's off, you cheat. That's not the image. That's putting on the screen. Anyway, the correct answer is, as many people have said, C, Jolt, which only Steve actually guessed correctly. Sparkplug was Optimus Prime's minicon, if my memory serves me correctly.
Yeah, it was the little car guy.
And Flash is the cleaner I use on the floor. Right, so that makes it 2 points to Steve, 1 point to Pete, and still nil point to Paul, who won't put the live chat up again. Swine. Right, question number 3. All right, this is a long question, so just go with this. In June 2009, American 7-Eleven stores sold a custom Slurpee flavor, specially commissioned and christened to celebrate the then upcoming release of Revenge of the Fallen. What was the drink called? Was the drink called A, Pineapple Prime, B, Megatron Mix, or C, Bumblebee Blast? So, what was the special Slurpee flavor released by 7-Eleven to celebrate Revenge of the Fallen coming out? Was it A, Pineapple Prime, B, Megatron Mix, or C, Bumblebee Blast? Right, answers are in. Ooh, interesting. So, we all remember Revenge of the Fallen for the Oscar-winning epic that it was. But what was the name of the Slurpee that was released by 7-Eleven stores? It was, of course, C, Bumblebee Blast. So, Paul, you get a point. You're off and running. Pete, you guessed it was Megatron Mix. I'm afraid it wasn't. And Steve, you get another point. Does that make it 3 points to Steve, 1 point to you, Pete, and 1 point to Paul? Things
Sounds
are going.
like we need a tiebreaker.
We've not even finished the 5 questions. All right, question number 4. Let's crack on. In Transformers Animated, the human character who everybody loved, Professor Princess, rode her toy flying unicorn as transport. What was its name? Was it A, Powdered Sugar, B, Cinnamon Stick, or C, Tootsie Roll? What was the name of everybody's favorite Transformers animated human character, Professor Princess's flying unicorn that she used as transport? Was it A, Powdered Sugar, B, Cinnamon Stick, or C, Tootsie Roll? I wish it was the answer you just put in our chat, Paul, but sadly it's not. Right, let's have a look then. So, Pete and Paul, you've both gone for B, which was Cinnamon Stick. And Steve, so have you, actually. You've all gone for Cinnamon Stick, which is a great guess, but it's wrong. It's A, Powdered Sugar.
Wow.
What a weird name for a unicorn. Anyway, There we go. Let's move on to question 5. Nobody got any points. Steve, you still lead by 3 points to 1. Okay, here we go. Question number 5. In the IDW continuity, which Decepticon flyer once said, "I'm a green guy, that's like literally my whole thing"? I'm a green guy, that's like literally my whole thing. Is it A, Nova Storm, B, Ion Storm, or C, Acid Storm? I'll put it this way. If you don't get this one right, I may have to slap you all the next time I see you. Storm! Right. Why did I hear that in Alan Partridge's voice? Right, you all went for the correct answer, which was C, Acid Storm, obviously, because he's green. So that means that our final score is Steve, you have 4 points, and Pete and Paul, you lag behind on 2 points. But wait, it's time for the tiebreaker question, the first one. So, here we go. Yes, right. Are we ready? This is one of those questions where you have to actually guess. I'm not giving you the answers, okay? Here we go. In which issue of the Marvel UK G1 comic did Grimlock begin answering reader questions in his section Grimgrams? So you have to give me an issue number when he started doing Grimgrams.
Can you remember Dread wins?
Whoever's nearest wins. Yes, Dread Tidings was my favourite because Dreadwind is awesome. Just waiting on Pete. Waiting on Pete. Anytime today, Pete. Anytime today. Put a number in there. Anytime today. Stop waiting for the chat.
Yeah, Andy, I'm not old enough to remember the G1 comics.
Are you not? Oh, that's a shame, Steve. You should read them and then do a channel about it. Right. So let's see. Paul,
Is that why you're into RID 2015? Because that's
yeah, because he's so young.
I was 18 at the time. It was my...
He's like the opposite of Pete. Anyway, so Paul, you guessed issue 24. Pete, you guessed issue 42. And Steve, you guessed issue 46. The correct answer was issue 75.
Oh,
so the closest was Steve.
Sunstreaker said 75. Jumper said 75.
Well done, guys. I'm sure you didn't just go check the wiki.
74. Bisto said Grim loves a gram. It's true.
He does. He does love a gram. And a gram. Right. Just for fun, let's do one last question. Steve, you are our winner. Let's be clear. But whoever gets this next question closest wins overall. So here we go. I love this one. Right. The bonus question. In which issue did Grimlock answer his last Grimgrams? So in which issue did it stop being Grimgrams and he answered his last Grimgrams? Now, to be clear, some of the people in the chat might come up with an answer here. There was a bridging issue, but it wasn't Grimgrams. And then it went on to the next person that was Dread Tidings.
What did they issue? Was it Deirdre?
Bearing in mind he started in issue 75 and Paul, you think he finished in 76. I'm going to give you a chance to change that if you wish. Stop showing the live chat, for God's sake. Qualified. It's not even the right answer. The correct answer was his last Grimgrams was actually answered in issue 182. Pete, you were the closest. So from the jaws of humiliating defeat, you grasp undeserved victory.
Life is a game of chance.
Although we all know the real winner here. Was all of you at home enjoying the quiz? No, it was Steve. It was definitely Steve. Steve absolutely decimated you.
ATTV was closest with that last one. The answer that I copied as well. So good copy. If anything, well done me.
So close. Thank you for playing, everyone.
Thank you for the quiz every week. We did. Now, are you going to head off now, Andy, into the sunset? And we're going to bid you farewell. We've got time for one more.
We'll squeeze in foreplay if we can.
All right, let's do it.
Lynn, these are sex people.
What do you mean?
They're sex swappers. Lynn, this is DEFCON 1. Look. Look. Don't make the same noise as them. Don't think you want to join in.
Favourite Headmaster from 1979. Andy, do you want to kick us off first? Is it 79 or is it 78?
9.6% beers kicking in.
Your Favorite Micromaster from the 1600s.
Favorite what now? Micromaster.
Micromaster from the 1600s.
It was at that moment he realised he fucked up. Anyway, right. I'm just going to make myself big. So I'm going to go. So when we said the 87 Headmasters, we did mean the 7. What should we call them? Standard ones.
The 7
So
core.
the core, yeah, the core cast of the Headmasters. So we're not including the Scorponok, Fortress Maximus, Leader, Massive, what we now call Titans. We're not including the Horicons in this either. We are specifically referring to the 4 Autobot Headmasters and 3 Decepticon Headmasters, who will be shown off here. I'm sure you all at home know who they are. So I'm going to go for my favorite, which is Highbrow. So Highbrow was the only one of the Autobot Headmasters that I had as a child, and he is my favorite because of that. Also because in the G1 comics, and I think me and you discussed this a bit, Steve, on your channel when we were talking about the comics, and I might be mistaking it, but I'm sure the fact that Highbrow featured quite a lot in the comic book stories as a headmaster. He ripped off Scorponok's head and just kept it about. Like we didn't even really find out what he was. Did he keep it in his room? Was it like on a shelf so he could just admire it?
It was in the fridge.
Yeah, what did he use it for? That's the really worrying questions.
A fruit bowl.
Might know. Popping things in his mouth. I mean, wasn't Zarak still in there? Who is like a humanoid and would need food surely at some point? Is he just dead? Anyway,
I have no idea.
Highbrow. Because he did that in the comics, he was my G1 headmaster. Also, I think he's cool. I love the twin rotor helicopter mode. I like the colors. He's a blue, fairly generic looking robot mode, but it's just cool. Oh yeah, and of course, he's still got the tech readout meters as well.
Very average
looking cool
readout.
Oh, he is. I think he's all 7s, which is like just sums him up completely. But he's also supposed to be really like his Bob Budiansky bio was that he's really stuck up his own backside basically, and a bit bit up himself. Which didn't really come across in the comic book. Like in the comic, he was almost the most relatable one in many ways. Anyway, thanks to Simon Furman for that. I appreciate it. So yeah, the best headmaster is definitely Highbrow. And I realize people are going to put things in the chat about like Chrome Dome. Nobody loved Chrome Dome as a kid. Everybody loves him now because of IDW. Brainstorm. Bloody same thing. Nobody loved him as a kid. Everybody loves him now because of IDW. Hardhead was cooler. I'll give Hardhead that. Anyway, that's me. I'm done. And I'm also done. So I will have to view the rest of this. I will try to get back on if I can. If not, I'm a stay gentleman. And enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you to everybody who's watched.
Thank you.
Still watching till the end. You can all stay up. Don't stop watching just because I'm going, okay? You can still stay on. There's still Steve. Stay on, please. Okay. Right. Love you guys. And I shall catch you later on. See you later.
Okay, dude. Love you. Right. Let's get on with it. I'll go next if that's all right, because Mr. President's starting to settle in. So I went for the very one that Andy said not to go for, which is bloody Chrome Dome. Because I love Chrome Dome. And I had not even seen IDW when I really got into him. I was used to look at the pictures of the catalogue and think, that's such a cool alt mode. And even though he's got his hands by his car, in those days I was like, that's a futuristic car. That's what cars will look like in the future. They'll have massive arms next to them. This is, I don't have the, do you know what? I've never had the G1 version. But to be fair, the G1 versions are a bit clunky. The only Headmasters I had was, Ape Face, obviously, was my favourite. I think it was probably the only, and Powermaster Prime. Powermaster Prime was a Powermaster, wasn't he? He wasn't a Headmaster. So this is, I think this is DX. No, this is Make Toys. Make Toys? I think it's Make Toys, isn't it?
Yeah. Is it Capula or Capula or something?
Capula, yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, a lovely bot, real tires, fits absolutely perfectly with the Fans Toys one, so kind of get an assembled masterpiece version of those Headmasters. He's the one you need for on Chrome Dome. The only other one I've got is lost his head. Some of Chrome Dome. That's what he looks like. DX9's Legends Chrome Dome with the head. Great. out there. But yeah, I've got them in his different forms. Used to have the
Average
Mech
nerd.
Toys one. But yeah, no, cool. Love Chrome Dome. Does anyone know Brainstorm and Chrome Dome's original names in IDW? Guzzy asked. So get in on that if you do. Do you know it, Steve?
Not off the top of my head, no. I don't know. I don't know the IDW stuff as well as I know the Marvel stuff.
Okay. Right, Pete. Go on. What are your choices, sir?
My choice will be the only one that I had when I was growing up. Don't pity me. I had other toys. But this is my OG Weird Wolf. He
Nice.
is fantastic, and I think he personifies what the 87 line was. So stiff, so rigid. Every joint
Colour.
moves at a 90-degree angle. There is no such thing as posability. But it's just such a cool toy, and the colours, and it was just an awesome toy. And I love him now, and I can honestly say he's one bot in my collection. I will never ever get rid of this.
Sorry,
is the
Pete.
one.
Is that actually your actual childhood Weird Wolf?
This is my
brilliant,
actual Weird Wolf.
fantastic, amazing.
I was just looking around, and I think I've got literally a handful from when I was a kid, and this is one of them. And it's just an awesome toy. He didn't do much in the comics. He did nothing in the cartoon. He has no storyline, nothing. But he's just a sentimental favourite for me, and I love him just for the nostalgia.
Such good
But yeah.
condition. Well, you must have
Weird
really
Wolf
looked after him
for me.
as a kid. Steve, come on, what was your headmaster?
I went not too dissimilar vein to young Pete there. I went with Skullcruncher. So I've got this is not I hasten to add my childhood G1 Skullcruncher. I didn't have any of the Headmasters as a kid, quite sadly. But Skullcruncher, yeah, I mean, you look at the colours, the pink and the green. It really sort of epitomizes for me where kind of G1 was headed as you started going into sort of 87 and then into 1988, and sort of some of the designs and the decos that we were starting to see at that kind of time. And I've always felt that the three Decepticon guys always got a little bit shortchanged. I think Pete just alluded to it in the characterization department, because Scorponok was so key sort of in the fiction and was obviously the big sell, big draw, big ticket toy. These three guys, and obviously Mindwipe as well, they just kind of melted away into the background, and they didn't really get to do a huge amount, but they just look cool as you've got these three giant mech beast things that go along. And what's not to love about them? I think this guy's got a really cool little gimmick. So he's got his visor kind of thing there on the crocodile robot mode, and you expect that to sort of lift up as the cockpit, but in fact it's his entire jaw flips up to 90 degrees, and then you get to put his little Nebulon guy Grax there, and it's like a little Nebulon Steve Irwin, just sat in the mouth of the crocodile. So he's just super cool, and yeah, with all that, Skullcruncher is my 87 Headmaster.
Great choice. He was one which I swapped at school. Like a friend, David, I can't remember his surname, but he lent it to me, and we swapped Transformers like when we were 14 years old, and I just took it home. My parents were like, why have you got Transformer again? I was like, I don't know. I was just like, I always wanted him. And they swapped back. Great choices, guys. Right, are we time for a bit of social corner?
I think it's only right that we do some social corner.
Let's use chat back from last week.
Come on, Cole, chat back. 50, 50, 50. 50, 50, 50.
Adequate.
Do you not need a disclaimer just in case anybody does actually phone that number now?
I tried it last night. It still works.
Got to do overtime for a month to pay for the bill.
And the gay one. They all work.
Anything that has a Dinobots on will get featured in Social Corners and Beastly Creatures. This is really cool. Jack and Ratchet giving their Dinobots a bath. And it's cute because it looks like the Dinobots are little and it's got a rubber duck and it's really got bubbles. Very cool, very funny. Chris Jones on Blue Sky. Awesomely talented. Does look like they're probably just in the field in Doncaster somewhere, doesn't it? With the pylons just running next to the train line. They could be anywhere. Awesome work by Chris Jones. Don Figueroa. Apologies. I just looked. I might have spelled Figueroa wrong. Apologies. Well, yeah, I did. Nemesis Prime in the new trousers. I mean, we know Don's a fairly decent artist. Don't really need to dwell too much on that, do we? Eric Benala, animated take on Primus. Is that it's the Studio Toys Primus, maybe? But it's the no, it's not. It's
Cybertron from the Unicorn Trilogy line, isn't it?
Yeah. Name escaped me. Goose Mitchell just a little bit early. This
That's
would have
amazing.
been
That's brilliant.
Halloween.
They're all fans' toys, aren't they?
Yeah. Prime candidate for a Halloween picture.
That is stunning. That is so really good.
Amazing picture. James Marsh with I was trying to think, it's two wrestlers. It's the Undertaker in the background, and I can't remember the chat. Someone in the chat will know, but
I know the
who
meme.
the other guy. Yeah, who the other guy in the front was. But James Marsh from Blue Sky, awesome artist. This is a really clever piece of artwork. Macatron. I mean, I feel seen with Braun. Not gonna lie, glad I skipped this stage and went straight to Braun stage. But yeah, a more sensible Master of the Universe Transformers crossover. But they didn't do it, so we'll get over it. This is really clever. So the next 7 pictures, 6 or 7 pictures, are all in this style. So that end sequence on TF1 where you've got Megatron looking at Shockwave, Soundwave, and Starscream, Primus Ibby has done it through the various versions of Transformers. So we've obviously got G1 here, Beast Wars, Armada, Prime, animated. It's amazing. It's so good. Can't remember which way round it was. Fall of Cybertron, whichever way around. From the Cybertron games and Bayverse. Just so cool. Really good. Andy found this and put this in the chat, and amazing piece of artwork. Ryan Miller we've shown before with was it Beast Wars 2, Megatron, Transmetal, whichever one it is.
Transmetals, yeah.
Ryan Miller we've shown their work before, but awesome watercolor. I did like this.
Oh.
Everyone who's got a pet can relate.
Yeah.
Make a decision. The tricky build from Blue Sky, and that. So
My cat does that. It'll go up to the door, go, meow, and the cat flap, meow, meow, meow. I'll be like, all right, do you want to go out? And I'll open the door and go out. I'll shut it and I'll lock it. And he'll go outside and just turn around and go up to the door and go, yeah.
My dad's dog does that. It's like you want to just go out. It's like
Don't
just
go
sit
out
on
and
the
go to the toilet. It will just go outside to ask to come back in. Crazy
It's
pet.
just trolling. It's just trolling you, Paul. It's literally just trolling you.
It knows. It knows I'm too benevolent. Next time I'll have it put down. Let's do discussion time.
We now return to the Transformers.
If your cat died, you would not mourn her, Paul. Yeah, that's it. I did, and my cat did die about 3 months ago. I've got 2 cats. One's still going. Just keeps doing what it's doing with the door. It might not live. Yeah, if my cat died, I would mourn her. Right, discussion time. So I am halfway through King Crush, the 8.2.
I haven't noticed in the slightest.
Beer 3. What beer are you on? Are you on beer 1?
I'm on the Mick. You watch every week. I'm on the Brixton Reliance Pale Ale. However, it's 4.2. So for every beer you're having, it's the equivalent to 2 of these.
Yeah.
But you're bigger than me, so that makes sense.
I've got longer arms. So tonight our chat is all about the cost of collecting. Yeah, it's just costs a lot, doesn't it? I don't know what you guys do. I collect, and pretty much just if I see something I want, I can buy it. But then I'll sell lots of stuff as well. So I'm always thinking, right, stuff which is not in my collection or stuff that I bought and I don't really enjoy it as much, I'll stick up for sale. Do I think it's gone up more? I don't know. I probably started collecting Masterpiece, then I went to Mainline, and with Mainline, it almost became collectible. Like, and it probably actually cost more. And then I went into Legends, and when you first got into Legends wasn't that expensive. You'd be paying like £20-25 for Magic Square. Iron Factory, when they're first, like the aftermarket from Iron Factory is crazy, but when you first get the first runs, it wasn't the first runs of the robots. It's not too bad. I think the New Age stuff is expensive from start to finish. But at the start of Legends was right. It was comparable. But now you look at Legends stuff, it's quite expensive. Like the Dinobots I was really happy to get, but they were at a good price, but it's still a lot of money. You look at the prices of, if you're collecting all the mainline bots now, you're going to be paying a lot on you. I used to collect every single mainline one, but they weren't. I remember complaining that like the combiner limbs were £15 each. In fact, you could buy a lot of the Titans Returns for £5 each in Tesco's. You can't do that now. Is it Smiths? You might be able to get them Smiths, but you're paying full back retail if you're not paying online for Hasbro Pulse. It's got really expensive now, the cost of collecting. I don't know. What do you guys think? How are you finding it at the moment?
I think the one thing I've really noticed is so I buy. I had a bit of an epiphany a couple of years ago, and I sold them. I didn't actually bin them. I got rid of all of my generation stuff. I was much like yourself, Paul. Really big mainline collector. Picked up loads of stuff all from War for Cybertron trilogy through to sort of almost to Legacy. And I just like, do you know what? This is becoming a little bit ticky box. This is getting a bit pricey. It's not representing. It's not a question of whether you can afford it. It's not representing good value for money. Yeah. So I shifted away from all that, and I buy, as I've showed in my pickups now, I buy a lot of vintage stuff, lots of sort of used stuff from eBay and Vinted as of more taken to recently. But what I've found is really hiking the price of things up is actually postage and shipping. That postage and shipping seems to have just one of those things that's just shot up exponentially beyond the cost of everything else. I could go back sort of to when Transformers Prime was out, and at one point I was organising group buys for retailer cases of deluxes for some of the stuff that we didn't think we'd be getting over here. And even with the onward postage to people, it was still worth people's time and effort for me to buy a whole case, get it, and people were still getting deluxes for at or about retail. You couldn't do that now. You couldn't do that now. So no, for me, it's the shipping, and no doubt the shipping is costing the companies more in their haulage and however they get these items from the factories around the world. I assume on very large shipping containers on very large boats. So that is probably one of the key things that's having a knock on. So I rambled a bit there, but I think I know what I mean.
Well, the shipping costs everywhere seems to go up, like on eBay, even from like AliExpress and stuff. Joy Toys, some of the Joy Toys stuff we've been getting. Like, I managed to snag a Predator, not someone who's on the register, Predator, which is the type of tank you get in the Warhammer universe, for £79. It was £100 cheaper than the UK sites, but shipping on it was £80. It's like, it's big, like, so you still save 20 quid, but 80 quid of shipping, it feels exuberant. But yeah, well, how are you people? How are you feeling?
I think
prices of collecting. And has it pushed you into anything else as well? Have you gone like, actually, I would be all in on Transformers, but actually now I'm exploring other avenues and a bit of Transformers?
I think that's a good point, and I think that's probably a bigger challenge, isn't it? Is the fact that if you do collect other things, then the reality is they're all going up in price. I think Marvel Legends stuff, which is in essence the scale of the Spider-Man stuff I collect and the X-Men stuff, that's risen over the last couple of years. And I think the reality is we live in a more expensive world than we did, and we do. And we're also spoiled with more choice, aren't we? So maybe for some people, decisions need to be made in terms of where you go and how far down that route you go, because there isn't an endless supply of cash like there isn't an endless supply of space. I think for me, I don't know, I'm still a bit of a sucker for the characters perhaps I'm missing, or I'm liking a mold, or I think it's quite cool, and they do suck me in with that. Am I really good at moving stuff on? No, I'm not. I am a bit. I've had a bit of a cold this year for the first time ever, and it's not. It's really dramatic to say it's enlightening and stuff, but you get to a point where you're going, okay, I've got a lot of stuff coming in. I don't have a lot of space. Do I have an emotional attachment to this, and this? I don't really. I've got it because I had the shelf space for it, and it wasn't hurting anybody. And you've already paid for it, so what's the problem? But I think going forward, I think it's the choice. We had Hasbro for a long time, and that was it. And now the third-party companies have upped their game to a comparable level. If they had the financial capital to bulk produce like people like Hasbro or Mattel and all the rest of it, it would probably be even worse in inverted commas, because it would drive the prices down a little bit further. So more people would probably buy third party stuff. But like you said, Paul, with like the new age stuff and fans toys, and now I've got into fans hobby as well, and they're excellent brands, and suddenly you're, as a consumer, your options are getting wider all the time, but you can't buy it all.
But where do you see value? Because when you said fans hobby, like, I think fans hobby represent great value, and yes, some of the prices are quite expensive compared to a normal toy, but you look at the price of them compared to other masterpiece, and the quality, I know it's not metal, but it's still, they you're going to get a 7 out of 10, an 8 out of 10 spot most of the time. Where do you see value? Because the other thing was, like, we were talking about things we also collect, and we go to Smith's and you see they got the Masters of the Universe line discounted to £5, and I've got them there, and then you start buying them going, this is really cool. Like, I'm not sure if I would have collected them before, but £5 a figure, there's value there, isn't it? So I want to start collecting them. Here's a little bit of value. Secret Secretarial Pornea Gerard T, best viewers on stream, room, TV to online. We will check that out. But yeah, so you get the value there, and it's £5. Like, imagine paying £5 for a Warrior class Transformers figure. You just win there. There's £40 now, £30.
I think Pete hit on a good point there when he was talking about choice, and again, obviously the ranges we've got with with New Age and fans hobby, but even within Hasbro itself and with official Transformers themselves. When you look at what we've got now with ID Toys, when you look at Kapow Toys, Hasbro Pulse, and loads of other sort of independent retailers and things that we can get at TFN, those kind of things. The actual choice we can get from Hasbro, we're now in a position where we don't feel here in the UK, and it's very much a UK sort of specific issue, that we're getting dicked out of stuff like we used to. Used to sort of see stuff, yeah, that store exclusive is not coming over as part of the range. Yeah, we're never going to get that. Wave 6 is a real tail ender, so we're only going to get waves. We even saw it as recently as Combiner Wars, where I think was it the majority of the Stunticons and Menasor got skipped over.
Yeah.
I think we got Drag Strip, and that was about it. But that's 10 years ago now. Combiner Wars was 10 years ago, and just the choice from Hasbro themselves can be quite overwhelming. And if you are one of those people that struggles with FOMO on your purchases and your pre-orders, or you're a completist because that's the way you collect, that makes the domestic market even more challenging.
And how much of it do you think we cause? Because sometimes with Hasbro, like, I remember sitting there going,
Yeah.
"That's not got enough ankle tilt. That's got." I can still see the hands, and we know, like, Mark doesn't watch us, but like Mark Clonus must watch a lot of reviewers and stuff, and he has to be sitting there going, "Oh my god, right? Well, we need to make sure ankle tight." Like Transformers, like Mainline never used to have the thing really that much where you could hide the hand and you could flip it, whereas that was a stand of third party, whereas now Hasbro has that in a lot of their models. So we've kind of nagged at them for ages and ages. So it's gone like £20, £30, £40 to accommodate this engineering. Do you think we've been a bit of the cause of that?
Massively so. Massively so. But I think as well, to an extent, I think with something like in the toy market, the consumers dictate it. The toy companies aren't stupid, but the consumers dictate it. If Hasbro brought out a 250 quid exclusive that no one liked and they didn't sell it, guess what? They wouldn't do it again. If they brought out a line that didn't sell, they'd cut it before the ink was dry, on the posters kind of thing. I think and I was going to say that with some of the third party line, we're almost getting to a point where with the third party companies, you're almost, if demand dried up a little bit, and it's in kind of contradiction because the demand's probably not going to dry up, but you could almost start to see the prices come down a little bit, because certainly with like Fans Hobby, you were talking about value, a minute ago, and Metal Hawk, which is for me still my toy of the year. Yeah, £85 for one of the best masterpieces for the last couple of years. It's not Fans Toys 160, is it? Do you know what I mean?
It's funny, Pete, when you said about if Hasbro came out with this 250 quid toy and it didn't sell, and you've only got to look at the increasing numbers on those HasLabs where they talk about the milestones. We've hit 12, I can't remember what Leo Kaiser got to in the end. I don't know if either of you guys know, but 15,000, 12,000, 18,000, 20,000. We're talking 20,000 pledges, whatever the word is, at a 300 quid toy. That's a lot of people buying a £300 toy for the HasLabs, and no doubt somebody at Hasbro is taking note of that. And dare I say, we're midway through October. There's no way they haven't got another one of those things lined up for March 26.
Yeah.
So I think Paul's absolutely right in what he says when he says that we are causing it because we're fueling it. Because what we forget is it's really easy. We talk about the cost of everything. It's really easy to paint Hasbro as the big bad corporate entity and so forth and so forth. But they're providing product, and we're still buying it. We're still buying it. Stuff still sells through. Guzzy made a comment just in the chat a few comments back about paying the late tax. We've probably all done that. We're Mr. Pre-order for that. I'm gonna have to get one of those off eBay. And you get hit by the secondary market. You look at what the Studio Series 86 Dinobots were fetching on the secondary market, and the Grimlock was, so much so that Grimlock was fetching so much money on the secondary market and so frequently changing hands that Hasbro did a second run of it more recently, or a package refresh, or whatever the wording is. And those kind of second run things, or for Hasbro to actually take notice of that, are almost unheard of.
Yeah, I think something that's worth considering as well is whilst times are challenging for a lot of people, and it could be said that collecting whatever you're collecting, whether it's toys or anything else, is a luxury. There is a lot more disposable income in the world now than there ever has been.
Yeah.
Which is why we find ourselves in this position that people want to be the first to get that, because whilst you've got more disposable income, it's not everlasting. So it's going to get spent on something. So which is why, people like Hasbro are finding them out. Magic Square it's lovely that we've got those Combaticons within a year. You go to Fans Toys and stuff, it's 2 years to finish a combiner, maybe more. And that's the thing where I think people are starting to recognize the economic climate we're in and go, we need to get there while people have still got the money, and it's not to say that there's going to be a massive downturn and people are going to lose that money and all the rest of it. But why are you waiting for it to be spent somewhere else? Why are you not capitalizing on it? Which is why sometimes they fire out shit. And sometimes we'll get good stuff, and the good stuff they're now commanding a premium for.
I would be really, and I appreciate it's going to be a closely guarded corporate secret, but I'd really love to know how the budgets have changed. Now, we all know how the price points have changed. We would talk about deluxes being £10 way back when, and now it's £25 for a deluxe or whatever they are in Smiths. But I'd love to know how those budgetary constraints are actually affecting the designers like Evan and Mark, to know what kind of wiggle room they've got to play with to get an actual product out there.
Yeah, and then what those conversations that they have where they say, like, because they must get so excited, we think you can do this, and then they're like, well, that's going to add an extra cost per unit of this. Like, you're going to have to think of another way of doing it, and that's great if you've only have got to do 2 or 3 Transformers a year. I'm sure Mark could absolutely come up with the designs to make it perfect. But when you think you've got to design another Transformer now, and it's like, for a character I don't love that much, and it needs to be done in 4 weeks, right? Well, am I going to push it to the absolute limit of my creativity to make it the most perfect? Then it comes out, we moan and go, it's absolutely perfect, apart from this one angle you can't quite get the angle tilt on, so it's shit now. And there's no way they can win, is it? Even like the best Transformers that we have, like when you think of the classics like the Studio Series 86 Prime that those people love, but it's got a huge backpack, we slag it off of that. The Earthrise Prime, we say its legs are too long. Like, these are in its class, they have done something amazing that we all stand and go, in terms of Transformers, probably no one's done anything that good. But you still fucked it up, and you've done this, and it's like, they cannot win, can they? What about the cost, though? So it costs, when you think about being a collector, loads of stuff to collect. We're probably predominantly Transformers by far, aren't we? We've got other things we collect. The only thing I did feel a little bit easier collecting was the Starships, because from off the bat, it was like, this is, you pay a certain amount. It's like £25 a month, and we'll send you this Starship. And then 3 years later, it's £25 a month, and we're going to send you this Starship. And the quality waned a bit, and there was a few exclusive, which were hard to get hold of. But that consistency, that you don't get that, do you, anymore with Transformers?
No.
I think it's not. Sorry, Pete, I didn't mean to talk over you. It's not just the cost per unit. So we know, like, use the example around the deluxes, but it's when you talk about things that get a package refresh or get a release, or even a repaint. Bumble Jumper's made a good point there about repaints and things. But what you see sometimes is you'll see that figure X comes out and it's got this minicon accessory, and then that mold will get a redo, and all of a sudden the price has gone up and the minicons disappeared as well, and you kind of look to yourself and you think, yeah, that's been you feel, and again to come back to your comments, Paul, about value, you feel that's not representing value because not only am I paying more money for it, I'm getting less product.
Yeah, and sometimes that is a strategic part of running their business, isn't it? They got to think, right, we're going to do this. We know actually the customers are not going to be that up for that, and we're kind of like leaning into a bit to the hardcore collectors. You have to pay a bit more. We're not giving you the value we gave you the first time round where it came with the minicon and the thing. If we do that, it will generate XXX. Is everybody on board with that? Because then that will allow us to fund doing something else, or we will hit this target, which will allow us to keep this department going. And I guess that sometimes we will never see those sort of decisions that they take. It's when they overtake those decisions and they do it again and again. That's when you get the warning lights.
I think it's a source of frustration, and it is. I don't know. Studio Series 86 Perceptor, they re-released with a slightly fresher color, and it came with Ram Horn and Rat Bat, and it was only X amount of time after they brought out the first one. All right, it's annoying, but I have a choice. I can buy it, or I don't. That's the choice, and I need to rationalize whether those extra changes or those extra additions are worthy of my cash. But you can't blame Hasbro. I mean, ultimately, I think it's we need to remember us buying these toys means we get the next wave, which means Mark and Evan get paid, which means they can design the next lot. And the deck slot, because I think if we all worried about, if we all bought exactly what we wanted, you're gonna have a challenge in terms of keeping it going, because you'll have half the wave won't sell. Well, that's half the revenue stream. They've paid the cost on the tooling and the design and all the rest of it. So I think sometimes we need to remember that the repaint is an easy top up if the wave hasn't done very well.
It is, but they must have a sense of like, we're going to do this. We know this is going to impact in some way upon our brand reputation with our adult collectors. So I think Bubble Jumper said about the Skybound Prime should be at leader class price point, or they could have just included some of those accessories in the original Prime. So they've done that, and if they would not have done this, gone, no one's going to notice that we're just putting Studio Series 86 Prime out for a ridiculous price with very minor changes. They have to wait out. There's some brand damage there when we release this. Are we willing to take it? But we think there's a chance we could, with the popularity of Skybound comics, we could probably bank a lot of money to get that. It's when they do it too much, isn't it? And to be honest, to Hasbro, I think they balance that quite well, like repaints. Or we're probably going to push the collectors a little bit with this one, but we'll put it back here. And they do loads of things, which obviously amazing. But it's a fine balance. You do see that's the downward spiral, isn't it? When companies, you can see them spiraling. When you go to Smith's and that Transformer shelf gets thinner and thinner, and the repaints get more and more, and that's when you know you're on the downward spiral.
I think what does intrigue me sometimes is, and we talk about, and we're all guilty of it. So someone new will get showcased, something new will get released. And we discussed it in the news when we talk about the Blockies Bruticus. First, loads of repaint potential. There's loads of repaint potential. Could we get a Ruination, or could we get a G2 Bruticus or something similar? But when you look at some figures, and again, keeping sort of the conversation on the cost, there are some figures that don't really have repaint potential. You look at Power of the Prime's Predaking, and Power of the Prime's Predaking was a big 150 quid box set with all the Predacons in it. There's no repaint. I'm gonna say there's no repaint. You could always do a super duper black and gold one, or paint one in a jungle camo. I'm sure if they got the imagination to, they could do what they want. It's their property. But it's not like when you see Starscream and you go, I know there's at least two more of those coming, or you look at anything else. If there's a Bumblebee, there's going to be a Cliff Jumper. There's those givens, aren't there? So there are stuff that doesn't get, and I wonder obviously how they balance the offsetting of stuff. We know we can't repaint this, and then you look at something like Siege Swipe, easy for me to say, Siege Sideswipe, and I think that I'd have to count them, but I reckon there's 15, 16 Siege Sideswipe repaints.
Yeah.
There's got to be.
I think you're right though, but I think you kind of do they put a bit of extra effort into a Seeker mold because they know they're going to get X amount out of it, and it's going to recoup that cost with the repaints because in essence you've got to repaint it. But I just see it. I think I think it's quite hard, but we're now in a position where we are getting excellent versions of characters we haven't had before. And you sit there and you go, okay, is the choice too much? Is that next wave? But when you add up, because I don't add up the price of the wave. They do a release and it turn left for yes, turn right for no. But when they go, they must do the sums, mustn't they? In terms of consumer A, if he buys or she or they buy the whole wave, it's going to cost X. So in terms of the money that brings in or the money that costs that person, so then they buy 80% of it, 60% of it, blah, 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 whatever. There has to be a break even somewhere along the line, and the repaints can be the icing on the cake, or they can hit them to the hit them to the break even, I guess.
What you said about there being so much, Andy said as well, is that almost too much product now. Like you can absolutely buy almost a new Transformer if you got all the Transformer releases, even just mainline across the course of the year. It's more than 12. It's probably more than 24. It's probably so that's more than 2 a month that if you wanted to, you could buy right now. And when you think back to the days, because obviously Masterpiece is expensive, it always has been quite expensive, but Fans Toys, what, 3 releases a year, maybe 4 releases a year. So then if you divide 12 by 3, you get 4, so £40 a month. That's your fine. You can get every Fans Toys release like across the whole year. You can't do that with Hasbro. You would not be able to afford to get Hasbro at £40 a month. You would need a lot more money than that. And is that maybe made it a bit harder?
Yeah, sorry, Paul. That was the thing with the original Masterpiece line, though. And at the risk of showing my age, when Masterpiece
28.
first came out, when Masterpiece first came out with MP1, the Masterpiece. I appreciate it was a Takara only thing at that time, but it was an event. When a Masterpiece toy came out, it was an event, and then they got to kind of Masterpiece 10, 11, whatever it was, when Sideswipe came out. And then all of a sudden it was a line. It went from being an event and you were really, really stoked for the next Masterpiece. And I can remember, Masterpiece Grimlock came out. It's like, wow, this is fantastic. Look at it. And then all of a sudden it was a line to collect, and we're going to do the cars, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and we're going to keep going with them. And I think if, as you say, it's that oversaturation of everything, and some of it is outside of Hasbro's control. And we talk about Transformers. Theoretically, you could collect a lot of Transformers without ever actually giving Hasbro a penny, because you're not buying. Because you're not buying generation stuff. Sorry, Pete, go on.
No, I was going to say, but you only would if you liked and wanted everything.
Yes.
And we've already discussed about some bits we leave on waves, and I don't know, Iron Factory. I've got no interest in buying any Iron Factory stuff. The Kang toys, I've got no interest. So suddenly you then go, we do have this massive amount of choice, but who buys the whole lot? And then suddenly do you whittle it down? Yes, the cost of collecting is still high. Of course it is, because there is more chance of, instead of you need to pick from this list, you can pick from this list. But just because you've got that size list doesn't mean you're not going to buy everything.
I just think that, but that's the thing that we must be some with mainline. Like if I bought all the Combiner Wars, I bought all the Combiner Wars, all the Times Returns, all the Prime Wars trilogy. That was 10 years ago. Yeah, fair enough. That's 10 years ago. Now, if I continued replacing them at the rate that Hasbro released them, I've now got either kept them, put them in the roof, or sold them. I sold them, and then replace them with all the legacy toys. And I'm now thinking, actually, is there going to be something else in like 4 years' time? That's a lot of cost, and you're never going to sell, like, I know there's some rare ones, but you're never going to sell the Combiner Wars and the Prime Wars at the cost of it. You probably pay for them at the time, unless you hold on to them for a certain amount of time. You look after the rare ones, because as soon as they say, like, I don't know, Springer's coming out, that's a poor example, but say Bruticus, when that came out, like, you're like, right, well, I have to sell my old one. Menasor, when that came out, the old one's gone. How shit does the old one look as well? You put pictures of it, and Hasbro got this new shiny one. And the only thing with, like, you don't get a lot of that with Masterpiece. Like,
No.
every now and then, Fans Toys will be like Tesla version 2, and they'll bring out their new version of Perceptor, and they might have a new Sea Spray. There's no new Warpath. They've released one Warpath in the last 15 years. They've only released one Hot Rod in the last 15 years. There's no replacement of that. You've got that. Now, I'm sure they will replace it, and they'll gradually go through. There's a new Galvatron coming out. But that Galvatron would have done you for 7-8 years. So would have that Quietus. That would have done you. And when you break it down, if you divide all the months, not only have you got, sounds elitist, but not only have you got better toys, unless you care about transformation, which I'd actually do, but it does look better in its robot mode than anything that Hasbro's produced most of the time, 90% of the time. So it actually costs you less because you're not having to then get the new line, because that toy is going to last you 6 or 7 years.
And I think those are the kind of factors that you need to factor in. If you can't justify the ratio of cost and value, then you need to go like you're going there and go, I think this Masterpiece version is fantastic, and it isn't going to be bettered for X amount of time. So for me, that is a massive, I'm going to get my enjoyment out of that.
Yeah.
I think in that time, and I think, you know, it's a really sensible way of looking at it.
You need to set up, Paul. You need to say, yeah, there's a whole business here in just leasing Transformers out to people, isn't there?
Yeah.
You get the stock in, you lease them out, people bring them back, you lease them the new model. I think you're onto something.
Blockbusters for robots.
I do think we do forget, and I think we get frustrated as, oh, toy companies making me buy more toys. They're giving you the option.
They do.
You know,
they're setting the parameters, aren't they? Like, it's like if you go bowling and the bowling companies choose whether you go, but you choose whether you go bowling, but the bowling companies choose the price. If they put the price up, yes, it's still your choice. But
I think on the flip side, and obviously we are all, how do I put this tactfully? We are all Transformers fans of a certain demographic. We have interacted with the fandom for various numbers of years, and I think sometimes we don't start, Pete. And I think sometimes we forget how long ago some of these releases actually were, and again, to sort of go back, taking third party out of the equation entirely. You know, we talk about the Studio Series 86 Devastator. I've seen some really positive comments. I don't own it myself. I've seen some really positive comments online. The images and the pictures and the YouTube videos I've seen, it looks really, really smart. And obviously the go-to is to compare that to the Combiner Wars or the Unite Warriors Devastator, whichever one you're looking to go. That was 10 years ago. So when you actually put it into context, Hasbro have not released a Chug Generations, whatever you want to call it, Devastator for a decade.
Okay.
So I appreciate there's been loads of third-party stuff in the interim, and you know, if that's your bag, different aesthetics, I get that.
And I think to that point, mate, we do need to remember, and this obviously spirals into another conversation, which will probably ruin the discussion topic for a future show, but it's really unfair to compare the two because the two are very different, and at the time they were both excellent in their classes.
Oh, I couldn't believe how good they were.
Yeah, I mean, I've got Studio Series 86 Devastator, and it is fucking wicked. It really is. But if you break down the value in terms of the cost per item and stuff, how does that line up against the box set of the Combiner Wars Devastator? Well, It's really hard to compare, and I think it's really unfair. I think it's really unfair to compare.
Yeah.
Pete, I just want to come on while I can still see it on the feed. There's a really, really great comment there from Bisto. I think Bisto's absolutely nailed it there, that some releases aren't meant for us, but for people who are just starting collecting it. And what we forget, and again, as fans of a particular demographic, every robot is somebody's entry point into the fandom, and it's somebody's entry point to the community. And there will be people who will look at those deluxes at £25 and go, well, that's how much a transformer costs. That I don't know that a transformer costs any differently.
That's it.
So that's their baseline, and then that's a choice for them to come in. And when they do see those Studio 86 series Constructicons, they won't be prejudging them against Combiner Wars or Unite Warriors or G1 or whatever other iteration, or Revenge of the Fallen, whatever iterations they've seen, because that's their entry point. And I think it's really, really important to remember that yes, the cost of these things go up, and yes, the ideas and the characters get recycled. But if we're not getting new people into the bottom of the bottom of the franchise as their starting points, and again, I don't want to go massively off topic, but you look at TF Nation this year, and I think Billy said it was something like the youngest average attendees they've ever had, which is fantastic, because it means more fans are coming along.
Well, there's a young lad at work that will remain nameless. He wouldn't be watching anyway, but he thought 142 for a litre of petrol was perfectly fine. And I'm like, mate, I can remember paying 89p. But we're not in that world anymore, and he doesn't know any different. So that's the only thing he measures it against. And
have you started him off on the price of Freddo's yet?
They used to be 10p. God damn it!
But I think to that point, if you don't know any different, what have you got to compare it against?
Yeah.
So that transformer you like is £25. So
and if you like it, go and get it, like Steve said, and that's the start of your collecting journey. You start from there. I think that's a good way to end the show, actually. Steve, thank you. And thanks for joining us tonight. Pete, I do love you, sir. And Andy, wherever you are, sir, hope you're well.
He's in that bloody chat.
He's there. He's there. Game's gone. We'll be back next Friday with Transformers Show. Head over to the Facebook, Transformers the Show on Facebook, the group, if you add it. I think we're just almost near 1,000 members, so please join there. It's a good source of daily news that Andy does, and unrelated memes that I do. Plus Pete's there as well. So all that and more, we'll see you next week. Good night. See you later, gents. Bye-bye.
It's time for Transformers, the show!